Hey there, gardening friends, and welcome to a full day full of a whole bunch of different projects. As you can see, I'm in my setup here in my basement in Minnesota, and we have a whole bunch of things that we are going to be doing today because it is the last day of February, which means clock is ticking, and I have a bunch of seeds I need to start, and I may or may not have gotten a few more plants that we want to pot and get ready so that they are ready to go in my spring planters in May. So a few things that we're going to be doing today. As you can see, I've got a huge 72 cell tray set up in front of me because I am going to try growing my own petunias this year for my front planters. I have grown petunias in my planters for the last, I'd say 4 or 5 years, and I love them, and they're always so colorful, and they just spill over the top of the pot and they make them look really full. And so I decided to see about trying my own this year. So I have 3 different varieties from Johnny Seeds that I am going to be putting in this 72 cell tray today. So I have the double Cascade Pink, I have the Dreams Mix. This is a F1 pelleted hybrid petunia. And then I also have the Wave Plum Vein. And those are going to be in a bunch of my pots around our front yard and in our backyard this year. So that's project number 1. Project number 2 is, of course, I'm at the store, I'm at Costco, and they had 2 really awesome plants that I decided it would be cool for me to try and grow. So the first, and I've always wanted to try these, are elephant ears. And this is one called Hawaiian Punch. So it has these gorgeous, or should have these gorgeous red stems and red veining on the leaves. So that'll be really cool. And then I need a few more shade plants, and I've always loved rose begonias or double begonias, so couldn't pass up trying this double variety of begonias. So we've got a Cascade Pink and a rose form pink that I'm going to try and put in pots, see if I can get them to start growing, and then be ready in time to put in some shade pots this summer. And then our last project, and I have all of the supplies behind me, is I need to start my pepper seedlings today. So I have 7 varieties of peppers that we are going to be starting. So I've got a whole case here full of all of my different peppers. And so we are going to get those started in their seeds. We're going to get them on heat mats in one of my greenhouses. And then we'll get those going so that they are ready and strong enough by the time it is the second week of May, and we can then plant them outside. So lots of projects, and we'll see. Also, I may have some special guests joining me today. My mom and my grandmother are going to be coming over, and we'll see if they want to get their hands a little dirty and help me get some of these seeds set up. So let's get started.
Welcome, dear friends, to Lauren's Magic Garden.
My magic garden.
This gal can grow anything.
Oh, well, we're gonna try.
Well, you've done all the research so that you know the best things in order to grow seeds.
Yeah, we're gonna try. And then, Mom, if you want to come in here too. So, hello, everybody.
Hello.
As mentioned, I've got my mother and my grandmother with us today, or as she's affectionately known as Nana. So we are going to be starting petunias. So
we're going to do petunias first, okay?
Yeah, we're going to do the petunias first. So I've got a whole bunch of my seed start mix in here, and we've added a few things to it just to make sure it's really, really good for flower starting. So we added the bone meal, we added the kelp meal, and then we added a little bit of mycorrhiza. And then we're going to use the 72 cell tray. So if you guys want to just start helping me fill up these cells, and then
you want to help her fill up, and I'll tamp?
Whoever wants to help tamp, or Nana, if you want to help tamp down. So we're just going to have to spread a whole bunch of soil in.
We're just going to, as she gets it in here, you can tamp it down, and I'll go this way, Lauren.
Here, so I'll just plop it, and you want to help me spread it.
Yep. And you can start tamping it.
Well, I'm going to wait till you got it on this end. So, and where do you purchase all these seed starter things?
Oh, this one is from a company called Bootstrap Farmer, and they make a whole bunch of really awesome tools. So I have a bunch of the trays that these are in, which are really sturdy. They're called a 1020 tray.
I think that's what I ended up getting you for Christmas.
Yeah, that's what Mom. So actually,
a little more
right here,
and a little more on this side.
Yeah, and we can always turn the tray too.
Yeah, here.
Oh,
I'm gonna go this way.
this tabletop
first.
is totally fine to get dirty.
All right.
So do you want it totally full?
Yeah, as about totally full, because the petunias we're gonna start are a really, really teeny tiny, as you saw.
Yes, they are.
Pelleted seed from Johnny Seeds. So we're going to
Almost microscopic.
almost microscopic. Well, I think that's why they pelleted them. And then we're just gonna top them with vermiculite.
Now it should be known that when me and my mother were gardening, even before Lauren was here, we were kind of known as the dirty girls.
Yes,
Oh, really?
we were. Yes,
we do love, we don't mind the mess. So we have
Yes.
had many a very filthy hop in the lake when you're all done days in the garden.
Remember the time we were planting when it was raining?
Oh, yes.
I mean, we were mud.
Mud.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
What
we
were
had-
you
but we had to
planting?
get- I can't remember if we were dividing. Were we dividing?
No, we were making a whole new flower bed.
Oh.
So we were turning soil and, you know,
This was up at the lake?
yes.
Okay.
And we had to get it done that day. And so we didn't have a choice. It was raining. So it's like, let's get out there. And we were beautifully filthy.
Yes, we were laughing
mud bath.
our
It
heads
was a
off,
mud bath.
yeah.
And we hopped into the lake when we were done. Couldn't go anywhere near the house, of course. So,
Oh, of course not.
yeah.
The passers-by thought we were a little, I think, off-center.
How nice
But
of you
we
to
had-
verb it that way.
We had so much fun
Oh, I'm sure.
laughing.
Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
I think I learned the totally fine with getting dirty from you guys because
Yes.
I will never forget Peter staring at me one day and going, "And where are your gloves?" and me thinking about the amount of times my mother
Your mother
would
hated
have
gloves.
dirt under her fingernails and all over her wedding ring, and my dad would do the same thing, and he'd go, "And where are your gloves?"
I love the feeling of
Dirt.
the humus of the earth, right? I love the feeling. And I like the tactile.
Right there, just a little bit more.
Yep.
in the corners.
And I love when you pull weeds and not having gloves on because I can feel the earth release those weeds.
So we'll want to just kind of brush
I
our hands
think
over it
we're-
and kind of clean up the edges.
Okay, you got it?
You got a little
A little more.
She's getting there.
here.
Yeah, you're in charge of telling us when they're
I
full.
think she's like when you make cookies and you rob Peter to pay Paul and you take a little bit of from this one and make the.
Oh, it's fine.
Yep.
It's just dirt.
We're just staying true to our name,
Yeah.
the Dirty Girls.
We'll be the dirty
Whoop,
girls, the
whoop,
muddy
on the
girls
end
today.
there.
Okay.
Oh, on the end. So we're gonna need to grab our labels.
Which one do you have
So
there?
I have the double Cascade Pink.
That's this one.
So I'm thinking, let's see, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 12 rows, so 4 rows of each kind. So I'm going to start them at the beginning of each row, and that'll tell us, all right, 4
Oh, I
rows
see.
of this one, 4 rows of that one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one would be our last one. So this is going to be our plum wave. So now we get to take the tiny little case
Yes, they're tiny.
pelleted, almost microscopic petunia seeds, and we are going to put 1 in each cell, and they are so tiny.
You know, I wonder if you turn your glove over, would those show up on the black glove?
Potentially, but that
Better.
glove has
Such
a
a
whole
silly
bunch
little-
of.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
Be
get.
too clumsy. with
I'll
the
get a
glove.
shot of how tiny these are here in a second, but they are so tiny, and they're even tinier than what we're even looking at because these are coated. So they
Right.
coated them, which means they'll actually have to stay moist even a little longer. So I'll have to make sure that the top layer of the soil doesn't ever fully dry out to let that coating basically dissolve and then allow the seed to take root and start germinating. So we'll end up with, hopefully, roughly 65 plus, depending on the rate of germination, 65 because it's a 72 cell tray of petunias in these 3 different kinds. And I'll take them from these little 1-inch cells once they start to really fill out. I'll probably have to pot them up into something slightly larger. before I eventually put them out in all of my pots.
With them being pelleted, oh, so you can see she has better eyesight because she's younger. But can you use the tweezers at all, or are you worried about stratifying the seed, nicking it, and?
I would be worried about nicking it a little bit. You can use tweezers. I've seen some people use. Actually, there's like a bunch of different types of tools, but it's almost like a rubber tip, almost like, do you remember what you used to use for rhinestone or dance costumes?
Yes.
Yeah. So almost like that, where you kind of press down and it captures a single seed, and then you're able to press it into the soil.
Oh, you're doing
But these
You're
are
doing great.
wonderful.
teeny tiny, so we have a little bit more than a row left, so I probably won't even use all of these.
You can't put 2 in.
I could put more than one
One?
seed if I wanted to, and I might, just because I might
Now
go back
these-
through.
This particular company, this Johnny's, it does have, look, it has a germination rate listed on the package, and this germination rate is between 95 and 98%. So there would be very few, at that rate, there would be very few of these seeds that wouldn't germinate.
Right.
So planting multiple ones in a cell doesn't necessarily,
Right.
Yeah, so I'll go back through and put 2 in, and then what might happen is if they both come up, I'll just have to thin them out, which I'll have to do with some of my lettuce later anyways. But I'll have to thin them out just because you basically take the weaker looking plant or whatever one is maybe smaller, take it out, and I can compost those, but I'll actually have a few extra, and these should
send them home
still
with
be
your,
good.
Send them home with your,
Yeah, I could send them home with you or with Mom if you wanted to try
I'm
and
not
grow
gonna
some of
be
your
able
own.
to do
Okay, so this is the next one that you have lifted, which is the Dreams Mix.
Oh, and this one I'm very excited about. So I grow Dreams Mix. I've grown Dreams Mix petunias for, oh gosh, 4 years?
You've purchased them and
4 or
had them
5
in
years.
your pots,
I've purchased them. I haven't grown them myself. But I love them because they're so colorful, and I don't have to do
Right.
anything for petunias. That's part of why I like them so much is
Yeah, you need something that's not labor intensive.
Yep, and with these varieties, part of why I picked the ones that I did, especially the Easy Wave, the Plum Vein Petunia, with these varieties, they will deadhead themselves.
Right.
They'll just fall off, and they'll keep doing what they're known for, which is that wave of, they'll just keep trailing, and they're gorgeous.
I have pinched them back though if they get to be
Too
where they're
long.
on my deck and they're getting burnt because of the heat of the deck.
That's the wave petunia.
Yeah, I
You
have-
the picture
Yes.
of me with the wave
Oh,
petunia.
so do you want to share that story? They were telling me a petunia story. How many petunia plants did you have wrapped around you?
No.
It was just two.
It was, there was huge, it was in the planter by the walkway out at the lake.
Okay.
And it just went.
trailed
just
and filled in and filled in.
trailed.
Because you had put it into just a space in the ground, or?
Right.
And it was fall, and we were starting to put that bed to rest for the season.
Right.
So we were pulling them out,
Pulling
Sure.
it out.
and when we pulled them out, they went on forever
It was,
and ever.
it was
and
taller
ever.
than I.
If you stretched the
Yes.
one
Yes.
petunia plant, really?
So
It
we
was.
put one each in Nana's hands, and we called them the Petunia Pom Poms.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, and we were.
And you
took
have a photo of
we
this?
have a photo of
We have
this.
a
I'll
photo
have
of
to
that.
send it
If
to
we
you.
can find the photo, I would love to see it because we can
It's on my phone.
take a
All right,
look.
the last one is the Wave Plum Vein. So there's that.
Petunia Wave Plum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the really deep.
Yeah, it's the one that has kind of a darker
Center.
veining and a darker center, and then is like a light, almost lilac color. So I don't have as many of these, so I might only have to do one per cell.
And what's germination on this one? 7 to, what's our days
says-
before we know? I don't have my
The germination rate.
Not the rate, days 2.
Oh, About a week.
Okay, so we'll know in
Yeah.
pretty short order both the germination rate as well as how many you're going to end up getting. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so now we get to do the last part, which is,
I can hold that, and you and Nana can.
yeah, if you want to.
So this is the
vermiculite. That's vermiculite. So if you want to help me sprinkle
Set this back
a
here.
thin layer of this over
Just with my hat.
Yeah, go for it. Over the whole thing.
Ooh, this is kind of fun. Is that enough? Is that
A little bit more maybe on some of the ones that aren't as covered.
make sure that they're covered?
Yeah. So evenly covered, because enough light can cut through this vermiculite, but we're not trying to, like, you know how some seeds it'll say like plant at a 1/4 inch depth or a 1/2 inch depth. These are like surface sown is sometimes what they call it. I think that looks good.
That looks great, Nana.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just one of my many talents.
Fantastic.
All right.
So now what we'll have to do is we'll take the 72 out carefully, and then I'll get my watering can.
Oh.
We'll put like probably a 1/2 inch of water in the bottom of this
So
tray.
no direct water on the top.
No direct water on the top. What I
Okay.
can do is I can
dump
tap
that
some of
over
this
here.
dirt out.
On the
Yeah.
mixture.
What I can do
Put that
is I
back in
have
our bin.
No, I will stay with
yeah.
you.
I have this. So I can kind of air pump when I need to, and I've used this on a few different things, but then I press this down and it's a very fine mist so stuff doesn't dry out. So what we'll want to do, and we'll move
Here's
that back.
here's
We'll
your
take
base
my
tray.
watering can, and this is just plain water. We don't want any fertilizers or anything just yet. So most plants to germinate, all they need is light and moisture, and they don't really start grabbing nutrients from the soil until they're a few weeks old.
So the moisture from the starting soil is enough, and then this just provides
This will just
that.
bottom water,
And with this
so they don't rot.
With this bootstrap farmer, as you say, it was bootstrap farmer.
Yep.
Is there a line you should fill to?
Not necessarily. I usually go to about my first knuckle. So
Okay.
about, I'd say 1/2 inch of water.
Okay.
And then each of the cells has a hole in the bottom.
Yeah, did you see where the
Yep.
dirt was?
Yeah. So we'll take this, we will carefully place her in like that. And then we're going to put this on a heat mat
No humidity dome or?
with a humidity
heat
dome.
mat.
Yeah,
Right
a
here.
heat mat. So that's kind of the next part is the heat mat will help to keep it so that the soil stays about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we'll humidity dome the whole thing. So I've got all of these domes up here. So we'll take a dome and we'll place it over the top. And then what's cool about these are also Bootstrap Farmers, I can turn these dials at the top to adjust how much humidity I want to stay in here. Because the humidity is gonna help them germinate. And then the same with the heat on the mat. And then you want the lights basically touching the top of this plastic because then they don't have to, sometimes what you get with seeds is if the lights are too high, they'll get leggy because they're reaching for the sunlight, and if you have the sun closer to it, they'll be able to establish more roots than they are plant light.
Imagine what we could have grown in the day.
I know. Crazy.
I'm just thinking how lucky I've been that anything has grown that I planted.
Oh.
After seeing all of this.
So I'm gonna move this one rack further up, and we're gonna put it so it's barely above the plastic here. But what these will do is
So
this
that's your
will,
light.
yeah, these are our grow lights.
God, to get all of this put together is amazing.
Well, I had a lot of fun doing it, and I thankfully have the resources and a wonderful husband who helps with all the heavy lifting stuff that I can't.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that's
Petunias-
project 1 done. High five. There we
right,
go.
let's get
All right,
on to-
we are going to clean up and we're going to reset and we'll do our next.
Peppers.
Would you rather do peppers next or do you want to do begonias?
Whatever you want to do.
I think we should maybe do some peppers.
I think let's do peppers.
Let's do peppers. All right, we'll be back. All right, so if you want, push all the soil to one side for me and then we can set the tray in there.
Oh, that's
And then
a
we
good
can-
idea.
Yeah, we can get maybe our table a little less dirty this time. I mean, I know you're the
You're no
dirty
fun,
girls,
so yeah.
but
But yeah,
We can't have her come and play at our house.
all right.
then.
So now we just have to fill it up. So I've been learning a lot more about peppers because last year I planted them in one of my small square beds in the middle of vining plants and they never got enough sun. So I got some peppers, but they were these teeny little cute things. Still had some pretty decent flavor, but they didn't really get very big. So I've learned that peppers need a lot of heat and they need a lot of sun. So we're gonna put them in one of my vertical grow stocks that we're gonna try this year.
Oh.
And then that way it's gonna be on a little rotating pedestal up on the deck and they will get full sun all day, full heat, and they won't be competing against any sort of vining plants or anything like that.
Lauren, is that will it rotate? Is it motorized or do you
It's
just
not
rotate it?
motorized. I would just rotate it.
Okay,
So
got
I've got a base with some wheels on it
Okay.
that it'll sit on.
Got it. And those are ones, is that also from the bootstrap?
Nope,
No?
those are from Greenstock.
Okay.
So those are the ones actually I was just telling my sister Kate about Greenstock because she lives in a townhome and does not have a whole lot of space. And HOA doesn't want them to put anything on the grass. So since it's about, I'd say like 2 cubic feet diameters worth of space, and because everything's vertical, you can grow a whole bunch of stuff in them, which is really cool.
Yeah, great. And maybe even for people with just like a balcony on in
Mm-hmm.
an apartment.
Exactly. So now that we got these all the way full, yeah, scrub your gloves off as best we can here.
I'm
We can give you a ribbon at
Does
the
that
end.
are we talking like cooking, gardening, or
anything you can think of.
you're just that messy?
I'm really good at it.
Okay. Well,
I'm also good at cleaning up. But I do make.
that's
a mess.
probably a good thing. So we're gonna have to make some labels. So I'm gonna grab, let's see. So we're doing 8 different types of peppers. So we need to make a label for each kind.
We have 8 of these.
We don't have 8 of these.
There's
We're not doing a
24
full tray of each one. We're
24
probably only going to
cells.
do maybe 2 cells,
Okay.
2 or 3 cells of each type. So we'll need, let's see. So there's 6 rows. So we'll have to make sure we label
24.
these carefully. Yeah. So we've got a whole bunch of these different labels and a waterproof marker. So, okay. We've got Fresno peppers. So that's one of the ones we're gonna do. We've got Peppadews, also known as Malawi picantes. So these are from Bohica Pepper Hut, which is a really great website online. They have a bunch of the more spicy, unique peppers. So we're gonna do those. We are gonna do these really cute Begonias, red and yellows, but you can just put Begonias pepper. So this is a chili pepper. I've always seen them as cherry drop peppers. They're the teeny little ones.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if there's an NEA.
It's a,
Oh, well, there is an H, but I'll know what you mean. All right. And then we're doing Megatron jalapenos. So these will,
Megatron.
yeah, these will get to be about 4.5, 5 inches long, but a lot of people
Wow.
like these for their flavor, and they're also really good for if I wanted to make like candied jalapenos, if I wanted to pickle jalapenos, if I wanted to make pepper jam or pepper jelly.
Yeah.
We've got anchos. So ancho
Ancho.
poblano. So poblano, my understanding is poblano is what you call it if you're eating the pepper in its like green or red state raw. And then if you dry it, it becomes an ancho pepper. So similar how chipotles are just dried smoked
jalapenos. Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
And then we've got shishito peppers. So these are ones I got from Hawaii.
Shishito.
Yeah, shishito. So these are a Japanese variety. That'll be really fun.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, and then we'll still do, I know I have my friend Mr. Bell Pepper that I overwintered, but I'm gonna do probably two cells of a sweet bell pepper just to see if we can get some good peppers this year. And then we have banana peppers. So we have 8 different pepper types that we're growing this year.
All right, I think I've got it.
All right, so let's put these away, and we'll start by putting,
Yeah, better put your labels.
yeah, so we're gonna do 2 cells of sweet bell peppers. We'll probably do these 2 of banana peppers.
And then we could do
And
one row of
then-
each of the others.
Yeah, I'd say probably
Well, we
1,
better
2, 3, 4, 5 almost.
put the seeds in before the.
Oh, well, we can
Labels.
label them and then we'll know where to put the seeds.
Okay.
So I want probably a whole row of jalapenos, and then let's do, we'll do a whole row of Fresnos, and then for the rest of them, we're gonna
Yep.
do,
20.
yeah, probably these 2 or 3, and we might have to make double labels or more labels for some of these. We've got shishitos, and then we've got,
Well, the other thing is we could go 3 this way. and
oh,
have-
that works.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 each of
And then 4 of
these
each of
and 4 of
these.
each. Yeah. High five, Mom. Great
Yeah,
thinking.
good thinking.
I support elementary math students. So looking at the array, we can figure out the best
Have
way
you
to.
noticed I'm just observing?
Oh, well. So these are our banana pepper seeds. So they are extra, extra safe. And these are from Botanical Interests, but this is a leftover packet from last year. Question.
Being
yes.
a good student. So I know that you and I planted last year.
There we go.
And this is the second year then on some of these varieties.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, how much would germination decrease from one?
Depends on the variety.
Okay.
So some plants, onions are notorious for you need to buy new seed packets each year because the rate of germination drops to almost a fourth of what it should be. There are other varieties that seeds could be fine for 2-3 years and the rate just drops a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
So what some people will do is they'll take seeds and to test the germination rate, they'll take a paper towel, they'll dampen it, they'll put a bunch of the seeds on it, they'll fold over the damp paper towel so it's kind of sandwiched, put it in a Ziploc bag and tape it to a sunny window.
We do that in second grade.
Yep. And then
Really?
and then
Yes.
like a week and a half or so later, they'll undo it and they'll see how many, and they'll count. Of the 10 seeds, 7 germinated, so we're at a 70%
Wow.
rate.
Wow.
So for these, we're going to put 2 in each cell, and I like to put them kind of on the diagonal. So that way,
So let's say you have
can
planned
see.
to have in your garden planning, which I know you've done already. You've planned a certain number of spots for a pepper.
yeah.
Even though you expect a good germination rate, you may up plant just to make sure. Yeah,
I will upplant all of them because if one starts to look a little leggy, or when I start to bring them outside, because one of the things that you do have to do when you start seeds indoors is they're not used to the full force of the sun being out in the ozone, the wind, the temperature, the day to night fluctuations, right? They're in essentially perfect conditions in
Right.
here inside. So one thing you have to do is a step called what's called hardening off. So all of these plants that I've started so far, I'm going to have to take these trays, and once it's above 40, 50 degrees out and it's a sunny day, I might even take the cover off a rack, wheel the whole rack outside, put it in the sun, let them stay for like an hour the first few days, wheel them back in. And then the next week I'll put them out for 2-3 hours
Yeah.
a day, and then I'll wheel them back in until eventually they're out there for most of the day and they've hardened off.
Right.
Their roots have really set. They've gotten used to wind, the full force of the sun, because if I didn't do that, you can put them into a state of what some people call like transplant shock, where you
Right.
put them out and then sometimes what you'll see is it actually stunts the growth.
Right.
And it'll take them weeks to recover, and then now you've lost 3 weeks of growing time.
Right.
So we've got our bell pepper seeds here. Come on, there's one more in there. And these, they've actually coated them so they're
So you know what you're
Sweet
getting.
bell.
a bright color. But these are all just, so sweet bell peppers, a common misconception is when you buy them in the store, there's green, yellow, orange, red. They're all the exact
Right.
same pepper. It's just at what stage
Stage of
did
maturity.
you, at what stage did you
Harvest.
them?
Harvest it.
Because they'll start green, and then they'll slowly go yellow, start to look a little orange, and then go red,
Right.
usually. Now, there are some varieties that are just orange or just yellow, and they've been bred that way, but
I also
are you dirty?
I can also get dirty like my mom. She taught me well.
yeah.
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 Well, yeah.
Yes, I know.
So,
I'm just watching.
we'll
I,
use
I know
all
that
5
we
of
planted
these.
Yeah, I know that these are the ones that we had planted.
Yeah,
last
we
year.
planted last year.
Yep.
All right, so now we'll do our row of Begonias peppers. So that's these little guys. So they're so cute. They're like
They almost
maybe
look like bleeding hearts.
yeah, they're almost, and I'll hold it a little closer to the camera here. So they're almost like a centimeter in height.
Little hearts.
Yeah, and they're they're just these little pops of almost like a fruity vegetal flavor. You can pickle them. You can just pop them into salads or on top of dishes. And all of these are pretty much a 1/4 inch depth. And peppers can take up to 3 weeks to emerge for germination. So I will be watching these and watching these and watching these, and then I'll finally start to see, I'm gonna grab my scissors here, finally start to see a little growth. So these are extra secure in these packets from Botanical Interests. But we're gonna put probably 2 seeds in each cell just to make sure we get good germination.
Yeah.
And look at how tiny these are. So that tells me just how small
The pepper is.
the actual pepper is in comparison to these
The
banana
bigger
pepper
one.
ones that we just saw. So we'll put, I might even do 3 seeds
Yeah, I was gonna say. you
just to
gotta
make
have
sure
to
we
do-
get,
Well, and this goes back to, I know with something like a little petunia, you might just thin and throw away. With some of these, could you let them get a little bit more mature and transplant?
you could,
Okay. If you wanted to, let's say, share your starting.
oh yes. And I did a lot of that. I was an overzealous seed starter last year, which is why you probably saw my message to you and Aunt Kelly and Joyce and a whole bunch of
Come
the other
get
family
plants.
members saying, okay, who wants lettuce? who wants peppers? I had, I think, 9 cherry tomato plants and I only needed 4 of them. So it was
I
like,
love-
who wants tomatoes? That's how you ended up with one of my dahlias on your porch.
Yes.
All right, so now we're gonna do these shishitos, and these are just in this little Ziploc bag from Hawaii. So I got these from,
Those are more like the size of the bell pepper.
yeah, these are a little bit bigger. I got these from a botanical garden that is right near the University of Hawaii, Manoa.
Get out of your way.
Oh, you're good. So we're gonna,
Which island is that on? Oahu?
Oahu.
Okay.
Yeah, we were there in the fall visiting my husband's cousins who live out there. So 1, 2, 3. We don't need very many seeds, so these should be able to keep. I'll have you hold this open for me.
Now, when we were doing the petunias and the Johnny
Seeds.
Johnny Company, gave a germination rate
Yeah.
on there. Do most of these have?
They might not give a rate. They'll tell you about how long it'll take to germinate. Johnny
Okay.
Seeds does that, especially for their flowers.
Okay.
Just because a lot of people use Johnny Seeds for selling,
Right.
wholesale. So what did we have next? Peppadoos.
And so, oh,
Yeah, so these are our 2 specialty.
So we can
one of our
also-
specialty
let's
varieties.
turn the tray
Yeah,
so
let's
she
turn the
can-
tray.
So peppadoo and then on.
Peppadoo. So this is 1/2-inch soil and soil that is 70 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So like I said earlier, peppers want to
Wow.
be hot. So I'm going to have these on one of those heat mats and humidity domed, and I'm going to turn that heat mat up to its highest setting because the ambient room temperature down here in our basement is probably 65 to 68 degrees.
Well,
and that amount of chill, it's not that they wouldn't germinate, they would just take probably a whole nother week longer.
So with needing a deeper depth and looking at your cells, would it be better? I mean, do we need to remove any soil?
No, because once we...
You're just going to push them
Yeah,
in?
I'll push them in because the other thing I've learned is in order to get them so that they're not shooting roots out sideways, is you almost have to, when you place them into the dirt, you almost have to like press them in. So I'm tapping each of these down, and I'm making sure it doesn't stay with my finger, because then it's adhered to the soil, and it's almost like I'm telling the seed which way's up and which way's down. So
Minerals this way.
yes, please
Light
grow
this way.
grow that way. Exactly. So we're gonna grab some of these seeds, and I'm just kind of putting them in a little triangle formation.
Are you doing this one? You just decided to skip that one.
Oh, I haven't done this one yet.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you saw
See,
that.
you're helping me stay on track here, Mom, which is
Well,
great.
but also this tag could have
She
shielded
turned
you.
the labels. You're not filming now, are you?
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
are you-
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've just been filming the whole thing.
Pardon me. Okay, and I can temp these. And then the last row we have are the anchos.
All right.
Okay, now that one,
Now those seeds that you're
That one
putting back
moved.
in the packets will be good for next year. you
They
think?
some
is
of them.
this 4, honey? Did one drop?
Oh, it might have.
Should I put it in
Yeah,
since
just
it's
put it
already
in.
wet?
It's already wet.
Yeah.
Oh, and I have to.
But you're not wrong. That comes up with your
Bless you.
finger.
Yep. So you got to make sure they actually stay where you want them.
God bless me.
All right. What was the next one? What was
Ancho poblano.
Ancho poblanos? So that's this one. And I don't know if you've ever cooked with poblanos before.
I watched your husband make a Texas chili one time.
With dried
With
anchos.
Anchos, and he had,
We're actually going to top these with vermiculite instead of
Oh,
soil.
okay.
But thank you for being prepared.
but I thought that it was, he used several types of dried.
Yep, dried chilies. Yeah.
Like a
Got tickle.
sneezing.
Ooh, and these are big seeds. These actually might be bigger than
Yeah,
the
because
bell
aren't
peppers.
they almost like the size of your hand, an ancho, right?
Yeah, poblanos, I've seen them like the length of my hand.
Wow.
Sometimes even a little bigger.
Yeah, you can see once you get them in the tray.
Yeah, look at how big the size difference is. I think our smallest seed, which makes sense so far,
Was the
is
shishito?
those Begonias
Begonias, okay.
and those little cherry drop peppers. All right, everybody. So here is the finished pepper tray. So we did 2 cells of sweet bell pepper, 2 of banana peppers. We've got 3 cells each of our ancho poblanos, peppadews, shishitos, Begonias, and then 4 cells each of Fresno and Megatron jalapeno. So we topped these with vermiculite, as you can kind of see on the top. So just a little bit of this coarse vermiculite spritzed the top of this just to keep it moist. And then now what we got to do is add a humidity dome to the top. And then we are going to put this in my grow tent right here, and I've got this heat mat set to almost its max setting. So it comes with a little probe. So we're gonna stick this in the soil, but I want this soil to stay hot. And I mean like up to 85 degrees, 80 to 85 degrees hot, because that is gonna help with the pepper germination. And it's also gonna help with those first few weeks of growing, because peppers can take up to 3 weeks to even start showing really full germination above the soil before they start to really grow as plants. And then I've got these lights already lowered to their lowest setting so that they'll be almost touching the top of that humidity dome. So that way we get enough heat, enough light under that dome and on top of the vermiculite to get them to germinate really well. So let's get it set up. And there we go. All set up. We've got the probe in, and I've got my temperature reading back here. So we're at 71 degrees. So hopefully getting a little warmer once we get acclimated to that heat mat. So now we've got our peppers. We've got our 72 cell tray of all of our petunias that are hopefully going strong. We've got these on a heat mat as well. And we'll do project number 3, which is getting some begonias started. All right, so project number 3 took us a little bit to set it up because we got so much soil, but we are gonna take 2 different kinds of begonias and these elephant ears, and we're gonna get them in these pots. So we have this beautiful pack that I got from Costco, and we've got Cascade Pink and Rose Form Pink begonias.
Yes.
And then we've got Hawaiian Punch elephant ears. So I've got a bunch of these 5-inch pots that my mom helped fill up. So let's do 5 of them with the Cascade Pink ones. Okay. So we can put this maybe just in one of them.
Okay, I'll wait till maybe we top it off, but I'll keep it
Sure.
here for now.
And then these, so they're kind of like a corm almost. So the roots are on one end, but then you can kind of see these little pink spots. So
Yeah.
the eyes
Like
actually come up, and it's kind of like cupped like a bowl from the middle.
Okay.
So we should just be able to set them. We've got the soil in these pots to where there's maybe about 1 inch of space left. So we're gonna put them cup side up. So see how this one even, you can see
Right.
these 2 eyes.
Okay.
So there's 5 of them, and we might want to we'll put 1 elephant ear over here so we can keep the varieties separated.
Okay, and then we'll put 1.
1 elephant ear. So these are funky. They look almost like a cinnamon roll
Right.
spun together. But this little part right here, see that little pink? That's going to be an eye. That's going to be an eye right there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll set these in,
it is domed.
and then I'll grab the camera so we can show everybody kind of what, we might have to dig a little
Yeah. Let me
space
get
out.
of the
So
way.
there's,
I think I'm going to do that too in this one.
yeah, so there's about 1 inch of space above those eyes for them to kind of sit into.
Do you want the eyes at the top of the soil or just under the soil?
Just under. They need to be about 1/2 inch to 1 inch under.
Okay.
So we'll do those. And then this is the rose form begonias. So all these roots will kind of tuck to the bottom. And we'll do this one. One of them was not looking so great. So this one we only have 4 of.
When you
but
say so great, like dried out, not
had a little bit of, yeah, like a mushy texture to it where it had signs of rot. So may have potentially gotten wet.
I just know when you plant garden begonias and then you go to dig them up in the fall, if they've already, like you get this dried yellow, like when that has,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
not cool.
Just put this in here.
That, if you want, we can actually maybe put it on, we'll put it on the shelf behind.
Okay.
And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the camera so everybody can see what these look like, and then we'll top them off with soil.
I go just to within the top of the pot, correct?
Yeah, so they're kind of domed. And then this is the elephant ear. So it's kind of this weird kind of cinnamon roll look with a bunch of eyes kind of towards the top. So I'll show, there's one over here that was really good. So these little eyes right here is kind of what we're wanting to have towards the top with the roots at the bottom. And then you're looking for kind of that cup shape to be up towards the top. And then we're just filling them in with a bunch of wet dirt. And since this dirt and soil is already wet, we're not gonna bottom water these. We're just gonna put them under the grow lights. And these are still gonna get about 16 hours of time under the grow lights a day.
Once you have these planted, how long until you should expect to see evidence of germinating, or evidence of growing green?
Yeah, my guess is, so these are going to
in
take
here so
about
you can-
6 to 8 weeks to become a plant like you would see at like Menards if you were Home Depot, or if you were going to a garden center, like a Bachman's or something, and purchasing the plants that are already pre-sprouted and are starting to show signs of buds. Takes about 8 weeks, which is why I'm starting them now, because we have about 9 weeks until we'd be putting stuff outside here in Minnesota. So if we start them now, they should have buds and actually be flowering instead of me putting out teeny little starts and then hoping to see blooms in the middle of June. I might actually already have some blooms in May. So do we need a little bit more dirt?
Yes, we are going to.
More dirt.
Just a wee bit.
Just-
Almost 2 left.
All right. Coming in with the scooper. We can just,
Maybe add a titch to that one when we get.
and if we want, we can put some in, we can put a little bit in dry. What do you think? A little more than that?
Oh, one more and that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Here. Got a little bit more water.
Yeah,
That's
that
okay.
That will all.
That's what some of the fans are for in my grow tents, is circulation. It's fake wind.
I'll evaporate that all. This is perfect.
What's your electric bill like?
Pretty great actually, because of the solar on the roof.
That's right.
Yay!
Yay! We love solar power.
But do you even? I mean, when you look at your use, you could look at your usage.
Yes.
But for the average, like a person who doesn't have solar panels on their roof, it would be interesting to
Yeah.
try to approximate
There, now
what.
you can put those back in here.
And these grow lights are LEDs, so they aren't
Oh.
as hot and they don't use as much energy or power to turn them on.
Sure.
I'm making sure that I'm tapping this in firmly so there's no air pockets, but not not overly squishing them in and damaging any particular
Correct.
crown or root.
All right.
All right.
So because of the size of these pots, we are not going to humidity dome them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep a very close eye on the moisture level in these pots.
With a sensor?
I could use a sensor, which I have some, or it's stick a finger in how much wet dew I feel, making sure that the surface of the soil stays lightly damp with my little sprayer. And then we should hopefully have some begonias in a few weeks.
I heard an interesting low-tech soil moisture thing, which is like a craft stick, a popsicle stick.
Yeah,
And you stick it in, and if it basically comes out clean like a cake,
it's
no
dry.
soil. But if it comes out and it's got any kind of,
Wet.
color, muddy, well, not even so wet, then there's still moisture in the soil.
Yeah,
So that's kind of a
people
very
do it with
low-
wooden spoons and,
yeah,
Get a
very low-tech
vacuum
way.
and-
oh yeah, we'll vacuum because I'm with the dirty girls.
Dirty girls.
So we made a little bit of a mess. All right, so
That's a lot I've done today.
Yes. Wow.
So, come on over. We got, what, 9 begonias, 2 elephant ear. We have an entire 24 cell tray of peppers.
Yes.
And 72 cell tray of petunias.
Wave Petunias.
So, way to go, team.
Way to go.
Dirty
team.
high fives.
Dirty high five.
There we go.
Yes.
Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you like this content and want to see more of it, and we may even have Nana come down once we've got the garden all set up, we'll have more videos about all sorts of fun gardening content. So like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.